Okay, so here is how we use Lofty, and here's just some basic things. Lofty does have in this upper right hand section. So this is Lofty for those of you who are checking us out or looking into us, or if you're brand new. This is our CRM that we've chosen. If they ever have problems, I have no problem switching to a different CRM. But this is the one I really like. Some of our agents do use other ones, but this is very technologically advanced, but also user friendly. So if you envision that there's something that you think Lofty should be doing, you can probably do it on there. So they do have this learning area. So if you go to this upper right hand corner with the question mark, go down to Learning Center, they've done a good job, and we've experienced a lot of CRMs that have not done a good job showing you how to use different features, or they've updated their features and then it's totally out of date. All their training videos are totally out of date. So with Lofty, the cool thing is I can do all kinds of things. The other thing that I really want to point out, as we get started, is some of you sometimes have technical issues, which don't forget, you can submit a ticket and you can contact customer service. And so something happens and you don't understand why it happened. Like, for instance, someone added a note recently and it sent that note as a text message somehow to a buyer. No clue how it happened, but just take a screenshot and send it as a support ticket to Lofty and they will fix it, or at least work with you. Now, what I like to do is I like to create myself as a lead, or as a person, right? And so you're going to have something called lead score, if you look, it's a valid email, valid phone number, and active communication. So if they've emailed you and stuff like that, they also base it off of other things like the price range that they search in or whatever it might be. Okay, in this upper left-hand section, you of course have pipeline. You have the details. If you ever see a phone number where it's invalid or bad, you can change it to talked and then try to see if you can get a text message to go out. But there's a lot of things that you need to play around with. The best thing to do is to add yourself as a lead. If you say if it says that you're a lead that was already created, that's probably because you're an agent in our brokerage and you're trying to put the same email that I have for you. And this is how I mass email a lot of you. For our meetings, it's hard to explain, but it's so much easier to have you in there. Either use a different email or let me know and I can add you as a co-agent, and that way just you can play around with it. But essentially what I like to do is I like to set myself up in here so that I understand how it works. One, I understand what source means. What does it mean by the registered date? How do I add family members? Can I add social media profiles? If you check right here where I can link their social media, I can go through and change their pipeline status to different things. Now, keep in mind that if a lead comes in from a website or Facebook, if it comes in through a different website and gets sourced in here, if it stays as new lead too long, right? This is not what you manually enter, but what has transferred over. The system will start texting them. So we get a lot of agents who say, "Who the hell is Anna?" Anna is just the AI trying to help you because it thinks that a new lead came in and you have not responded, changed the pipeline status, sent a text, called, emailed. You haven't done anything. So therefore, you must be really busy out working with other clients. And so the system's going to help you. You can either tell them, "Oh, it was just our system called Anna," or you can just say it was my assistant Anna, right? Either one works for me. I say it's my assistant Anna. Sometimes I'll say, it was our AI texting because I messed up something. So, but when you manually put them in, it's not going to do that. Right down here, you have assigned contacts. So for those of you who have any issues, you can always assign me as a contact, and then you can leave notes. You can log calls, log texts, log emails. Um, if you go over here to text messages, you can see the different communications, the phone, the emails that were sent. Over here in engagements, so I come to engagements and I click new alert, and then I can sort things, right? I can type, Roseville, California. I can let's do minimum $500,000, maximum $600,000. And then I want to do a 3-bed, 2-bath. Actually, I want to do 3-bed, 3-bath. Why not? I want to make sure that the listing status is active, property types. Obviously, if it's a 3-bed, 3-bath, it should be a single family, but okay, it eliminated some multifamilies. And I can see 10 results. I can sort it if I want a pool, whatever it might be. It's not always perfect. because remember, this is synced and linked with the MLS. So people whine and complain sometimes. No one in our brokerage right now, I've just heard people complain about Lofty or other CRMs and say, oh, it didn't pull all the data. Well, yeah, it may not because with the MLS, if a listing agent doesn't check a box for, let's say your client wants RV parking and the listing agent forgets to check that box that it has RV parking or they choose not to, it's not going to show up even though it says it somewhere else. So, and your client says, well, I found this on Zillow and it has RV parking. Why didn't you send it to me? Well, that's why. So, yeah. And then what I can do is I go over here and I hit next. I can send alert immediately. I don't like to include open houses because unless if I've worked with them before, I don't want them to go to an open house and now they're working with a different agent. I can change the subject line. I can change the frequency. I say do it every single day. In Fridays and Thursdays, I do the evening, and then I save and sync and send it to them. So that's how that works. There's obviously all these categories up here. Um, you can organize this. I like new leads as they're new, right? No one's ever contacted them or done anything. Attempted contact is that, right? I've never contacted them before. Nurture is I'm working on them. Warm, hot, appointment set, appointment met, showing homes to them. I get the contract pending, closed, past clients, and Sphere. I like Sphere if you're working your social media, you're putting on events. So you have a good list of people who haven't really expressed interest in buying or selling, but you're trying to get them to that point. Those ones are the ones that I'm going to put a lot of focus into connecting their social media, making sure that anytime I do an event, I'm emailing them because I can click this, I can click mass select all 254, and I can click mass email and send them that email. Now, along with emails, I want to make sure that I come over here to settings and I go over to, and if you forget, it's pretty easy to figure out, but I'm pretty sure it's integrations, and I want to sync my Gmail. It'll also sync with Outlook, um, right? Yeah. Outlook calendars and Outlook emails, but it'll sync with a lot of stuff. I like to sync with Gmail. That way, my emails come from my email. Otherwise, it's going to come from a third-party email, and it's more likely to go to spam. That's why we pay extra for Lofty versus some other cheaper CRMs because all your emails will just always go to spam. But there's all kinds of things you can check out. You can set up email templates. You can go over here to Smart Plans, which is like you assign yourself a task to call someone. And then once you call, you check the box, and then it sends them a text message a few days from now, and then an email a few days after that, and then another email a few days after that, and then it assigns you a new task. That's what Smart Plans are. It's really useful, especially as you start to use the system a lot. You're going to figure out what you do constantly, and you're going to figure out that sometimes you just get busy. And so when you can create smart plans that are tailor fitted to you and how you operate, then it's just going to be so much easier. You can even go in there and edit templates that we've already made so that it fits your style, your language for texting, your language for emails, for notes, and how you like to assign your tasks, how soon you want to follow up, or frequent you want to follow up. The other place that I really encourage a lot of people to go is one, the website, because you can kind of tailor fit some things. Keep in mind that because this is a subdomain of our main website, it's going to be a little bit limited on everything you can create. You can always, if you wanted to, sorry, with Zoom, I always have to come back here, but what you can create is you can you can sync your own website. So if you wanted to go pay for your own domain, right? We've got David Bolse in our brokerage. He does bolserealestate.com. And he puts that on there. He can pay an extra $40 a month. Cool thing about that is if David ever decided he wanted to dedicate some of his money towards leads through Lofty, he can do that. If he decides he wants to create a blog, he can do that. And it's just an extra $40 a month towards this that he can customize his domain pretty much however he wants. So that is an option that's available for anyone. It's just not something that we pay for, of course. Okay, marketing. I like to go down to Social Studios, and then I like to click Manage in the upper right-hand corner, and then add all of your social media profiles, right? And so then I can create a post, I can create a listing post, I can take a team listing, let's say this rental, and I can post it, right? I can automatically post it to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube if there's a video, LinkedIn, Google My Business if you create a Google My Business, and then I think, oh, and this one's Twitter or X, right? I can also schedule all of my posts for an entire month. So I want to dedicate a day. I go onto Canva. I create some really pretty, marketing that's tailor fitted to maybe my color scheme on social media. I can do that. And I can also come, and create different listings and different templates, and post different listings. You got to ask permission from some of these people if they're not in our own brokerage. Otherwise, I can create a search. And let's say I want to tell people, hey, all the homes in Roseville with a pool, all the homes in Natomas with a pool, all the single story homes in Natomas that are close to the airport. Whatever you want to create, you can create that. That's under marketing, and you scroll down to landing pages, and they even have all kinds of different templates. And so if you want to create a lot of posts that prompt people to do something, there's buyer guides, there's lead registration forms, there's seller guides, and these guides are PDFs that Lofty has created for you. You can go in and upload your own. It's kind of complicated and hard to figure out, but it's an option that's available for you. I like to do the listing search campaign and then do what I just said. So I essentially, create a name, let's say it's Natomas because we have Edlin that just joined. I say Natomas Homes, and then I come over here to listing source, and I use custom search criteria. I type in Natomas. Sure. And then you can pick whatever areas. And let's say, yeah, you can add criteria. So I can do listing status, purchase type, right? I can go all the way down to find what I want to create. I can just spend a day, which is really cool, spend a day creating all of my social media content for the entire month, especially for those of you who work. This is extremely useful, and I find no one's really doing it. We do pay extra for all of our agents to do it. Some people do, which I greatly appreciate. But you can schedule all that content, spend an entire day doing that once a month, and then be done, right? And focus on other things that generate your business. So what I encourage to start with is add yourself as a contact. So you go to people, you add lead, and you create yourself as a contact in here. You do the opt-in or opt-out. You create the pipeline status. Choose whatever you want. You can create tags so that you can search by tags. Cash buyer, investor, needs improvement on their credit, right? And that way, when I get busy and I hear about something, I can go and I can search for all of those specific types of clients. I can add their birthday, and I can send them automatic birthday wishes and anniversaries and stuff like that. So I would play around with that because it's going to teach you, hey, how do I connect with people better, right? Facebook, sometimes it tells you when it's someone's birthday, same thing with LinkedIn. I can go in there and add it and then send them, and add them in my sphere and send them emails wishing them a happy birthday. There's just so many things you can do. I encourage you to go through your social media, start to put people in here, put yourself in here, play around with it, figure it out. When you put people from your social media in here, you don't have to set them up on a search campaign. You're at least adding a list in Sphere/lead. And whenever we do an event, you can send a mass email to all of them and say, hey, I just joined a real estate brokerage called Vision Forward Realty. We have an office happy hour on July 11th. They're going to be streaming some of the Olympics I don't remember when the Olympics start, but they're going to be streaming the Olympics, and we're going to have lots of games and food and drinks. Love for you to stop by and say hi. Here's an Eventbrite link for you to sign up and register. And yeah, and go ahead and do that. So I think that's a great thing for those of you who are new and looking for something to do to start with. And then it's a great way to also teach yourself how to use the system, what to click around and do in different spots. There's obviously a lot more involved with Lofty than I'm going into detail with this video. So feel free to choose that yourself. Now, the marketplace, that's where you can pay for a lot of things yourself. So if you're someone who wants to dedicate money to leads, There's Lofty leads, but there's a lot of other lead sources that you can click on and you can pay money to get leads. I would just call me first, is what I'd recommend, so that I can kind of help you make a good plan where you're not just wasting all of your money. So if you have any questions about that or we need any help, please let me know. Thank you.